Hi, welcome back to My Life with Plants. If you don't know me, my name's Newman, and today is kind of going to be a difficult process to go through. This is actually not my room. I've been using it to house or to keep a lot of my tropical plants. A lot of these have to go now, or they have to be moved. And I've got a few ideas to take care of that. Also, I'm going to be trimming up this big old Hoya. Yeah, I'm going to take care of that too. And also I have a lot of hanging plants to move around, so this is kind of I've been tidying up in here many times, trying to keep it tidy, but as you know, and everybody else goes through this too, the hoarding and the collecting of plants. You can get to the point where you don't realize just how much you're accumulating and how terrible it is, even though that somewhere in your mind you can't see the problem. But actually there is a problem. It's called hoarding. There's a lot of stuff here that I just can't let go of. It's just so difficult for me. This Phalaenopsis here, I'm going to try to keep it in the living room and then move it during the day towards the window. Hopefully it keeps out of everybody's way and they don't get irritated. I cannot get rid of it. It's too difficult for me to get rid of such a plant. Some other plants like pothos is not a big deal, because it's in plentiful supply and I don't feel so bad. But then again, I do, because I grew that from cuttings. I've got a much bigger one up here. I think I'm going to trim it a little bit and then bring it to the living room. And I have this snake plant that I would like to move. And my Spathiphyllum or Peace-lily. This one I'm going to repot it and take cuttings off it and give it away to people at work. Anyway, today is the day, one of the hardest days for me. So join me as I get through this. Thanks for watching. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is take care of this big old Hoya. I have another one. I think it's come to a good time that I should take cuttings off it and get rid of the rest and start again. Anyway, we'll be doing this and fast forward. Okay, how's that for cuttings? Yes, I got enough. I think I got over 30. And the rest of my plant, it has to go into the rubbish, the trash. It's harder to do. The hardwood cuttings don't seem to take as well as the tip cuttings. So yeah, it was a good plant. Flowered nicely for me. Let's have a look in the top there. The medium is really old. I think it's going on at a year or two. But the good thing is that when I smell it, it smells fresh. So there's no bad smell. And also, I use magnesium, dolomite lime, yeah. So that keeps the pH about normal, about 6, right? So it doesn't get too acidic. Anyway, that's all done, and time to tackle all of these plants, so stay tuned. Well, I did it again. I'm my own worst enemy. I had to propagate it. Well, I was anyway. But I wasn't going to put them in a pot and start another one. But I had to. These are self-watering pots. You can see this one has a storage of water. And this top part actually submerges into the bottom. This one has a wicker. So let me turn that around. There we go. It's got a wicker with a water storage in the bottom because they like to be moist all the time. And the growing medium is, like, you could say that it's almost entirely pumice with some cocoa chunks. Now, a lot of us kind of fret using cocoa fiber, but I gave that a good rinse after potting up those cuttings. I rinsed it really well. Now, each cutting is like 2 inches. The stem is like 2 inches into the mix, and I just pluck the leaves off on the bottom part of the stem. So that's just all I do. It's winter now, but the living room is heated during the day, so they will root fine. Okay, time to do some more. Be back in a minute. Welcome back. I gave this pothos a wash. Washed its leaves, and like always, I took the hose off here. Wash it. What do you know? I do the spill. Always got to do that, don't we? Gosh. Oh. So a small job becomes a big job. Gotta say, it's looking good. Huh? So green. Okay. Now that I have wiped that, and of course this here. Accidents happen. Finally use this towel. Yep. Nothing that you can't fix. So I'm still enjoying myself, even though this is not one of my favorite days. and then having to deal with all the plants, right? Bit of a stress. Anyway, after that dries, it's going to hang up in its new position. Ooh, look what I found. I bought these at the Daiso store. Mini baskets. So these are going to be what the cattleyas are going to be in, because I'm going to have to move them around. During the night they have to come over here, and in the morning they can go back close to the sunny window. Okay, so I got to unpack these and transform that into just a windowsill, so there won't be all this clutter around there anymore. Anyway, I'm going to get started with that. Well, here we go. I don't know what to do with these. Ooh, thinking. Thinking cap on. I'll give this one away. Yeah. Okay. Now, got a lot of cattleyas and a lot of stuff hanging up. Now, I'm not going to bother with too much about this hanging stuff here. It is not my biggest problem. Okay. Let's take this one. Oh, it's doing well. Doing so well. And you're going to come and hang out in the bedroom. Alright, we go here. If you're a cattleya, you're a orchid of some sort, you come in here, into my basket, which is what's going on here. See that? It's hard to do the camera work and continue this process. This little tonia that's going to move to the bedroom. Alright, keep going. I'm trying to do this the best that I can. Best camera work I can do. Yeah. And this one's been doing really well. It's got these bulbs growing, see? 1, 2, 3. And did you know I found a mealybug? I haven't seen one for years. I got rid of it straight away. Yeah. Right, next. Here's another cattleya. It's got some nice roots going on there too. You go in there. Everybody that's a cattleya goes in. There's another one. It's pushed out this bulb here. See that one? I don't think it's going to flower, but that doesn't matter because it's on the recovery. This is almost absolutely dead. Now it's actually plumped up all its leaves. They were very desiccated or withered. So that's doing fine. Live life in the crowded basket until springtime. This one has a black tip. Now that is probably due to its inability to push nutrients up because it's got such a poor root system, so it's still struggling. We'll see what happens. Should be fine. It's just going to take some time. I mean, some time. Next. Right, this one. It's just sunburn. But this one's been pushing out some new bulbs, although they are not too big. It will nonetheless make a full recovery. There's beautiful yellow flowers with a red labellum. So I think it's going to be a beautiful plant once it gets going and recovers and grows properly. Okay, next. I'm going to put some miniatures in here, like my Sigmatoscalyx radicans. Probably said that wrong. Probably. Who else has clumsy fingers? When you go to do something, it gets caught and you think, what is it caught on? I don't know. And you try not to break it, and then you're looking around and you're just confused. Like, what is it caught on? Or when you go to lift up a plant and you think, you know, nothing's caught on it. And then you're bringing it up and then you hear a snap sound and you think, how did that happen? You know? It's like you've got to get this special skill of how to manipulate plants into a small space. Anyway, that's one basket. See that? So this is my plan, is to put cattleyas in the baskets and then I can move them around freely in the house. Stops clutter. It's tidy. Next one. I want you to have a look at this. This will interest you. That root system. Have you ever seen anything like that? That is thick. Okay, this thing has got a reputation as being super, super tough, super hardy. It is Cattleya boehringiana. So if you want something that is tough, then buy boehringiana. Next over here is Ladio River Sweet. Not so sweet anymore. Was sweet. You see here it's got this terrible outbreak of a fungal something or other. But you know what, I'm just using this as to boost the root system, so I don't really care about that. My focus is on this bulb growing better. Yep, that's all I can do right now. So I bought this in flower, and you know, it was the only one in there in the nursery in its poor condition. I bet they had a lot more at one stage. Yeah. So you know what? The best thing I can do is just not to overwater it, just to give it a little trickle of water every couple of weeks. Keep it in a breezy, illuminated place, plenty of sunlight, and it should do fine. Here's a beaten up Maxillaria. It's going to make a comeback. Yep, you can always over fertilize your orchids, make them end up looking like that. Just give them some fertilizer every third watering. Wouldn't do it every single time. It just builds up in the mix. And yeah, I'm hoping that'll come back. Just haven't been able to grow them that well. Righty, next. Next one is a butte. This is a Dendrobium Angel Baby Green Eye. So it stays in a nice tight cluster. Plant gets about this size, 20 centimeters maximum. Bushes out a lot, has multiple blooms. Can be absolutely covered in blooms. It's a white flower with a slight yellow or greenish lip. These are propagations from a friend. And I haven't been doing too well with keiki, so I'm pretty sure I am doing something wrong. But anyway, here's my next attempt. It's got a little bit of a water reservoir in the bottom so it doesn't quite dry out. It's in pumice this time with cocoa husks. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'm not going to screw up like I've been doing keikis. Next one. This is Dendrobium Salhime. Obviously a hybrid done in Japan from a friend. She gave me that. Alright, put that in there. In the corner here is a propagation. They gave it a baggie. So this one is a pretty big grow. Dendrobium. I gave it the baggie to keep it humid. Yeah. And now I get to worry about it every day. Looking at it and, oh, is it going to grow? Is it going to be fine? Well, I hope so. Wrapped it in moss. We'll see how that goes. So this basket's full. I can't put any more in there. So we'll call that done. There. So that's two baskets done. Oh, I don't know. Hope I don't have too many. Okay, propagation, and you go. Next. I'm going to pop over here. Dendrobium Speciosum gracilocollis. Now this one is like a real speciosum looking Australian native orchid. But what's neat about this is it's going to have, instead of the typical white raceme, a racema flower, so kind of pendulous and hanging, and they flower almost like grapes, so that's a raceme. And these flowers will be yellow, actually. Beautiful yellow color, and hopefully fragrant. I love it because it's hardy, so I can't kill it. So that's good. Right. Change that saucer because... Is it smaller? No, not really. Oh well. I'll just keep it in there like that. Okay, next one. Oh, big awkward thing, but flowers are magnificent. And I'm not going to buy any more. Lycast. This is the only one I'm really interested in. So it has, the funny thing is this still grows in the winter. So it just remains leafy. Probably for 2 years before it drops these leaves. It's a bit beaten up because of the weather, but it has a bulb. It's trying to grow and mature. It's got 2 back bulbs. One rotted. Growing in sphagnum moss. In you go. Anything else? Oh yeah. In the back of there. Oh, something big. Is that for big? Is it big enough? Look at this big thing. I don't know its ancestry, but it has monster yellow blooms, huge cattleya blooms. I mean the biggest size you can get. So they're yellow and they have a kind of a deep blue labellum. These have got big balls on it. Look, I wrap my hand around them. Super thick leaves. So the cattleya that has this heritage in it. This thing is like interbred over and over with many countless kinds of cattleyas. And it's going to go in the corner of this because it'll lose its balance and chip. So I got a basket that has a decent sized lip around it, right? Or edge, so they don't topple out when you pick it up. Just wondered what you think about my orchid collection so far. It's not that big, is it? So I am controlling myself. Really controlling myself. I'm not getting out of hand with my hobby. It's not easy. It's just, I mean, I'm watching TV all the time and I see Nature Now and what else? I watch Nature Now and Terry. I watch Terry and his orchids, you know. It just gives me the, just gives me the excitement to want to grow or try growing the orchids that they have. This one, now, it's not rotting anymore, thank goodness. This one is Dendrobium yukidaruma. Ooh, okay, I'm having it all sprout again from these old canes. I'm too scared to water it. I'll tell you why, because I had some rot issues, so I'm hoping that once the root system is completely calmed down and, you know, there's no danger of rot or anything like that, and these canes will just remain the way they are. It'll start shooting again in spring with new growth, or in the winter, whatever. And that goes. What am I left with? Okay, this Mosmum, Dendrobium Mosmum, which is doing super. Look at that. It's perfect. It's growing, and cocoa husks with the pumice. I just use ordinary tap water, and every third to fourth watering I put in a balanced fertilizer, which is liquid, and it's happy. Now that one's not going to put up with the extreme heat of summer. I'll have to be bringing it in, won't I? Hide it somewhere so it don't get cooked. Okay, that is basket number 4. Last one. What's going in here is this biggie, which was gifted to me by a friend. There we go, look. Laeliocattleya Blue Heaven. We put out 2 new bulbs. I don't know what the heck I'm doing growing it, but I'm learning. These bulbs turned out pretty good. It blasted its flowers. 2 reasons. Not enough water. I think that's it. That's about it. Not enough water. It could be, the other reason is that I should have cut the water altogether. But considering that Cattleya bowringiana flowered and it wasn't going without water, it actually was still being watered at that time. So it does have a new growth. Another one right here. So you can call this quite prolific grower. It has not so leathery leaves, you know, quite a bit thinner, but it does put up with a lot of heat. I'm going to put it in the basket and tilt it on the inside so no one's banging up against it or whatever. Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out. See this here? This is wire that you use for cymbidium orchids to hold up their blooms. Stake, and it has thick wire in it with a coating of plastic. And Stephen Van Campen Lewis had a great, was it Stephen? Yeah, so he had these kind of shaped wires like this, so it kind of bends over like that, and then it goes down and then like an L. So if you look down inside this pot here, you'll see how it goes along. See that? So it hooks on the edge, and then you push it down hard, and then the L part goes along on the top of the medium, and it holds the Cattleya down firmly, so there's no wobbling. So that's pretty neat, right? These neat little ideas they come up with, and I like to try them out. And so that's Stephen Van Campen Lewis. He also uses Velcro too. Yeah. I think you saw another one here, right? Got to point that out actually. Move back to this Dendrobium. Did you notice that this one has a wire going through it? That's thick, really thick orchid staking wire, and I punched a hole in the pot, protruding out the other side, going through, and then the wire's been fed through this hole across the top of the center of the orchid there, and comes out the other side. And what it's doing is it's holding this orchid down really firmly, so it's not wobbling to and fro, because it was wobbling around when I got it. I didn't want to have that. I wanted to build a good root system. Okay. So if you consider that I have cleared out all this space here, right? You see these styrofoam boxes, polystyrene boxes will be all taken away, and this area will be cleaned up. I'm doing pretty good so far, so I'm happy. The stapelias, you can keep them in anywhere in the house, as long as they're not heated. As long as it's not a heated room, they just go dormant, they don't grow anymore. Yeah, they're really easy. So that's so far. So I'm going to do a few more things and I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, next thing is to clean up the floor. Once I'm finished cleaning, see how it looks. It's getting there, little by little. Little by little. It's just I'm a hoarder, right? And as I said, and this is not easy, causes stress, right? But I have done something with my stress. I have turned it around to make it positive. So instead of making this into a nightmare, because it's really playing havoc with me, I've transformed it into something to look forward to enjoy, because it is something new, something I have to do. And yeah, there's always a way to get out of something when you get in a predicament. And this is no big predicament. This is just clutter and sorting it out and, making the home livable. Instead of scaring everybody. Every time I buy more plants, I scare the pants off them. They think that I'm going to keep buying more and more until they can't move. but that's not what anybody wants, actually. You're going to have a big cluttered area with plants. You cannot see them, you can't get to them, you can't barely even notice if they're rotting or dying. It's just no good. You can't enjoy them like that. Anyway, I'm just going to get back to this cleaning. This is just a duster on a cheap adjustable handle, which does the trick. It does the trick. It does a good job. There's not a lot. There's actually not a lot here to clean up at all, because I'm always cleaning all the time. Because when you own plants, that's what you have to do. Okay. Time to sneeze. Okay, now let's see how it looks. Of course, the angle of the phone's not helping, but what I'm going to do now is to move this over, right? What I'm trying to do is to organize it, right? Organization. I'm going to actually wipe that cell, maybe a minute. Okay, I got my wet rag. Just going to wipe the windowsill. I love this. This is my favorite room. You know why? It has all this light, all this sunlight. It's just a fantastic room. I don't want to give it up. It's my son's room. There's no excuses. It's his room. Room. I'm going to ask him if he doesn't mind how this looks, and I'll tell him. I'll say to him, I'm just going to move it in here in the day. At night time it goes out. I'll take it out. I'll even hire it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for this spot. We can have a little bit of a, you know, you can actually rent it, yes, rent off this very valuable sunny area. Why did I grow these? Tell me why I grew these. What am I doing? I'm trying to make my life complicated. Instead of growing epiphyllums. Oh no, what am I doing? But you know what, I can't resist this one. This one is just looks like orchids, the flowers. It is some patience to grow it. So I got one leaf, only one. It was so wrinkled and so absolutely thought it was going to die, and it bounced back. It's been giving me a lot of growth here. See that? Straggly as it may seem, it does grow like that. And as the root system gets thicker, it'll thicken up its growth, but it has beautiful pink flowers, absolutely beautiful. Amazing. put the name on the screen so you can check it out, so you can get hooked on it and buy one yourself. That's what's happening, isn't it? Getting hooked and then hooked on something else. It goes on and on and on. It's bad. This is a Echinopsis. It's kind of, well, I put it to the test last year. Got down to -5. You can take that, but I think if it got down any lower than that, it might have died. So I just bring it in because it's my favorite color. It's so golden. This one is my one and only hoarding. You can't get angry at me for wanting to hold on to that. I've been growing it for years. You can't get angry at me. It's just a plant, right? What a nice plant it is. Okay, you know what? I'm trying so hard to get rid of clutter. Very hard trying. Working hard here. I'm working hard through my OCD problem. If you watch me, I will turn a plant around, turn it here, turn it there. Look at it. No, it doesn't fit. No. Okay, try again. You know what? Don't do that too much. You end up driving yourself insane. Okay. Second basket. I'm just taking my time here. I'm not trying to hurry up. But I've got that mentality of hurrying. Bad mentality. You do something, you gotta go like all out or not at all. Trying to train myself to just enjoy what I'm doing. There is no alarm system going off because I don't get it done on time. It's okay to be halfway through something and just stop. Although I've got this habit, many habits, just another one that I'm trying to break. How many baskets do I have? Four baskets. So when I do come in and I place them, I just stick them in this way, I guess. Something like that. Well, these might get a bit squished up against there, whatever. And in the springtime, they go back out. They go back out and resume their life outside. Why is that falling over? Why? There goes that thing I was telling you about. Something's pushing on it and I can't see. Can't see no matter how much I look. Alright, let's just back this up. And this is what I'm trying to do to get rid of clutter. Right? Now, neatly organized in baskets, they can be just moved. So comparing it from before, we've got a few plants there, but those ones can be put elsewhere in the bedroom. So, this is all done. I'm going to show you where I'm going to put all these other excess plants. So I will be back soon. Okay, this is where the Stapelias are. There's the closest window, so it's pretty dark there, and it's fine. They will do fine there, as long as they're dry. Alright. Get rid of those ugly things, but they're good for storage. They are. They keep things dry, so here we are. The plant's going to be moved somewhere else. It's my favorite. 1, 2, 3 baskets, 4 baskets of orchids that would go back outside in spring. I can't deal with that right now. Reached my limit for the day, right? As you can imagine, moving your precious plants around and getting rid of some, giving them away is a hard barrier to go over, but once you do that, once you test yourself, then you can do fine. There's a nice greenhouse there. Wow, surprise. Nice mini one. See that? I was going to put this outside, but I have to do a big cleanup, so kind of doing an experiment, but I'm going to keep you up to date with that. Dendrobiums that are in a mini greenhouse over the winter. Plus I'll show you my Japanese orchids too during the winter, so you can really have a good look at them and see how they're doing in the very harsh cold. Before I go, I want you to see my new purchases. Cattleya Uricolor. I've tried rubbing that off, but it's just part of the makeup of an orchid. Every now and then it gets heat stress or burns or whatever. It's definitely a burn. Healthy plant. It's pushing out their new growth there. See that? Nice one. What else is new? Yeah, I showed you those 2 other orchids that are new for me. Also, I got a Rinco Stylus Gigantea. Now that plant, I'm not kidding you, is roughly about the size of my hand spread out. Pretty big plant, right? They had bulks of them on my go-to web page where I buy orchids in Japan, and it was just under $20. So it is one of those lovely dark reddy pink iridescent shiny flowers on a pendulous fluorescence. That's the kind of flowers it'll have. They're kind of almost shiny. They shine. Very waxy, and the fragrance I'm looking forward to. So I have that in a bag. So it's hanging like this, right? And then what I've done is I bagged it, and then I put the hanger, the macrame around it. Now, in the top of it is a small hole to let a little air in. Now, the reason why I do that is to up the humidity right up. And it's in the warm room, in the living room, and so the Rinco Stylus will start pushing out new roots because it'll be very humid, and it's just slightly damp. Okay, not wet at all, just slightly damp. And yeah, that's how it's going to grow for now. I mean, does anybody else have Cattleya Uricolor? Because this is, as I say, one of the most fragrant of Cattleyas.
Also, I'm going to do an episode about how to look after cattleyas, because I consider myself pretty good at it, and I've learned a lot from this one. This taught me a lot about cattleyas. And as you can see here, this thing is got bulbs coming out of bulbs, right? This thing is loaded with new bulbs. It just keeps growing and growing. I have a success with growing cattleyas, and I want to share it with you next time. Anyway, thanks for going through this with me, and I understand how it feels to be somebody that just has an impulse to buy and hoard stuff. You get a lot of people that are upset around you, and you don't know why, what you're doing wrong. But I'm trying to show you that there's ways around hoarding. There's ways around looking after your plants and still making everybody happy in the household. Sometimes you just got to give up some plants. They can't be helped, especially if they get too big, or you got to split them so that it remains small enough. Experiment, just like that mini greenhouse I showed you. There's just many ways to get around it. So looking at the positive side of this. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time for the next episode, which will be about cattleyas and my Japanese orchids. Until next time, bye. And thanks for watching. And especially a big thanks to everyone that watches my YouTube videos and my subscribers. Well, I don't want to call them that. I want to call them my plant friends around the world. I'm doing everything on a complete budget using a cell phone that has a very good, decent camera. Also, the sound is very good. The camera work is not the best because I am recording it myself, but my aim is to share my knowledge of plants with you all, and also share my mistakes too, and that's what it's all about. But in the future, if I am able to invest money in better equipment, I will do so. But you know what? All the advanced technology that we have now is pretty amazing. You've got to admit that. And I'm always really happy to see so much coming through the YouTube. And that's amazing, and I enjoy it all. So anyway, until next time, and thanks for watching. See you.